Um, Thank you for joining me. I heard the other day, literally a couple of days ago, that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are back together again. I love that because I always thought that these two were just look so lovely together. And you can always tell that she was so much into him, and I'm sure he was very much into her. Clearly, the romance that started between them on the set of Gigi at the end of 2001 was the beginning of the romance that they had. And but obviously they're both a lot younger than 2001. Wow, it's like a decade ago. So both of them, Jennifer Lopez would have been 41 and he would have been 37. So still very much involved in their careers and all the commitments that they had. And it seems that they're back together again, which is so fantastic. And now they have had their relationships or marriages, children, career success, failures, obstacles, like all the things that normal people go through with relationships and just normal daily life. So, and now it seems that they're both mature to enjoy themselves together again. And so I thought I start by looking at their charts. So what would be between them that would, make them so attracted to one another? This is a really good synastry between the two. So the very first thing is, when they first met, Ben Affleck was running Saturn planetary dasha, and Jennifer Lopez or JLo, was running her Mercury Jupiter. And whenever two people are running dashas that are the planets get on well together, it always goes. It's quite a nice little thing, it's like their planets are friendly with each other, so there's a lot of niceness in the relationship. And so it makes it very complementary, if you like. And and they split up when Ben was running his Saturn moon. They're actually 8th and 6th from each other, so that would kind of show from the moon a divorce. Or an ending as such. And then for her is her period of Mercury and Saturn, which changed things. And for her, Mercury is obviously in her first house. It's the ruler of her 12th house of endings. And also Saturn is the ruler of her 7th and 8th house, because she's a Cancer ascendant. So let's fast forward to 2001. And I kind of didn't realize that they've been kind of seeing each other since January this year. I just literally heard this 2 or 3 days ago. I don't really, since this COVID thing has started, I'm not really interested in the news. And I just haven't actually, I'm not sure what's going on in the world, really. Sometimes it's a good thing. But anyway, this was the nicest thing out of this time period of all this virus and everything. So anyway, so now Ben is running his Mercury period, Mercury, and for him, Mercury rules his first house and is in the second house and his 4th house as well, of happiness. And obviously, second house is house of family anyway, it's a union. So whether it's having children or meeting somebody, once you're together in a committed relationship, you become two, so you become a family. So that's why in relationship synastry and things, anything to do with relationships, you always look at the second house. And also, obviously, 1st and 7th, 11th house is good as well, and 8th house. All these houses are all to do with relationships. We're not going to do full analysis today, but Mercury, generally speaking, just by the sheer fact that it rules his 1st and 4th and gone into the second house, it is kind of like activates relationships for him. Because from there also, Mercury is, from the second house, is actually activating his 8th house as well, which is house of sex, if you like. And for Jennifer Lopez, she's running Venus Rahu anyway. So Venus always gives relationships anyway. And so Venus Rahu, the same as Venus Saturn, they always give relationships. So, and so let's start. So obviously, I was looking at really big points of kind of bringing these two together. What are the key points in their charts? And it's amazing that he has his Ketu in her first house. That is just massive. They have been together in a previous life. It's what feels comfortable to him. It's what is really reassuring to her as well. And you can see why there was an ending, because obviously Ketu can make you detached as well. And but the actual Ketu on her ascendant, they just feel as though they know each other when they're together. It just feels amazing. And also they both have Sun, Mercury in Cancer, which is her first house, and his second house, because he's a Gemini ascendant and she's a Cancer ascendant. So imagine that, Sun and Mercury of both of them on top of each other. And obviously for Ben as well, he has got Ketu, Mercury and Sun in his second house. So that's such a big pull. So I would say the Ketu ascendant is massive. Mercury and the Sun of both of them being together, being on top of each other on the synastry in the same house, Cancer, is remarkable, really, absolutely remarkable. And the other thing that could have actually been difficult for them to begin with is that he has his Saturn in Taurus, and that's exactly where her her Venus is. So there's a Saturn Venus synastry. They're sitting on top of each other, pressing each other's buttons, if you like, in that house. And it is it's his 12th house and her 11th house. So this could have been very difficult, because his seriousness of Saturn sitting on his Venus probably was a little bit overwhelming with her. But what it does, it actually really makes a relationship concrete and steady. Venus and Saturn conjunction as theirs does together. It's amazing. And the other thing which is really nice as well is the fact that their nodes, Ben's Rahu is in Capricorn and hers is in Pisces. So they're like 3-11 to each other. That is really nice. That just means that they just have fun together. And his Ketu is in Cancer and hers is in Virgo. So that again, really, really helpful. And the moons are not greatly connected, but although in some schools of thought they say that it's quite nice when they are kind of 12 and 2 is good. I don't find that that good, because I think he probably, I think actually because she's got Moon in Scorpio with Mars, she probably felt as though he kind of abandoned her. So she must have been absolutely gutted, really, and must have been really hard for her to let go. But with Ben Affleck, though, he has a lonely moon, Chemdram Yoga, with his moon in Libra and Sorti. So it's quite difficult placement. It's got no form of aspect on that moon at all. It's completely deactivated, if you like. So yeah, so he finds it really hard connecting. So for him to want to be back with her again must have been a massive thing, really. And her moon is in her 5th house, first house ruler in the 5th, but it's actually a debilitated moon, and it is with Mars. So they always say like a afflicted moon, which hers is because it's debilitated, and also sitting with such a difficult sort of planet like Mars there, you know, even though Mars is kind of Nishabanga, but it's still, you know, it's difficult. They say that when a moon is afflicted like that, it can give multiple marriages. You know, when things get tough, they move on. So that's the very first things you can see. So, but yeah, it is pretty amazing, really, that I think. Now let's have a look at, because the thing is, now they've gone into the second time around, so we're going to look at the Navamsha now, because I think they're actually together because they really want to be together this time. And this is when you can really, with the Navamsha, you can really see exactly what is actually making them really attracted to one another. So Jennifer Lopez, JLo, she has her ascendant, we said it was in Cancer. Now, when things move on a little bit now, when they go into the D9, so into the D9, things are pretty different. So here we have very, very amazing things going on. So I think the most amazing wow thing for me is that she has Rahu moon in Navamsha in Cancer, and he has got his Ketu on her Rahu in Cancer. Unbelievable. I mean, that is incredible. So that's like they are completing things in this lifetime that they didn't finish in a previous life. Equally, her Ketu is in Capricorn and his Rahu moon are in Capricorn. Oh my gosh, that is just so amazing. It's like the moons are opposite each other, the Rahus are opposite each other, the Ketus are opposite each other. It's incredible. That is such a massive pull. They just feel comfortable with each other. It just feels as though they literally must feel as though one is completing the other. Incredible. Then the other thing is Jupiter from JLo is in, her Jupiter is in Pisces. His Jupiter is in Taurus. So there are 3-11. So it just means that it just gives you lots of fun. Lots of fun. It's amazing. Make each other happy. Her sun is in Virgo with Mercury. And he has sun in Pisces, so their suns are opposite each other. Then he has his Venus in Aquarius and she has Venus in Leo, so they're right opposite each other. That is amazing. You just would not see that in the natal chart. And then their Saturns are on top of each other in Leo. That is fantastic. And also Mars. So we have Ben's Mars is in Gemini and her Mars is in Libra. So they're 5 and 9 from each other. So it's really, really amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Literally, they are so compatible. I can't tell you. It's absolutely incredible. So I mean, you don't often see this because what's happened is they've had this amazing attraction with the Ketu on her ascendant, and Sun and Mercury, both of them having Cancer. But with time, it's become even stronger. So it's brilliant. Honestly, I do wish them well. It's just so brilliant and good news. We all need some good news. And yeah, so all the very best to them. Made my day when I heard something positive for a change. So thank you guys very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you. Okay, so just before I was going to publish this video, I just thought I'd just point out a few things about both their charts that can be helpful for some people who might be thinking about, who are doing astrology, interested in things to do with astrology. So I just wanted to just point out one of the very first things is that their attraction between the two of them has become firmer as the time has gone on. So although they have this immediate attraction with Ketu, But obviously they separated because his Ketu is on her ascendant, which actually can cut things away, separate, and also his sun is there. Ketu is also on her sun, and them two, Sun and Ketu and Saturn, are separators. However, the reason why they've got back together again is because actually, despite those sort of attraction that feels good to them, it's their D9. You know, D9 is what we become literally as time goes by. And I know there's a school of thought that they say it's always working behind the scenes, and I'm sure it is. I'm just going by what my teachers have taught me. But basically, obviously, I went through all the Moon Rahu, Rahu Moon, and Ketu. They got this attraction thing going on. They're sort of finishing karmas in this lifetime. And so let's have a look at these things. So I just wanted to point out a couple of things for people who feel really pulled down by debilitated planets. Have a look at Jennifer Lopez's. She has two most important planet, actually, two very important planets. Moon is debilitated in her chart, so is Saturn. And despite the fact that, and actually her moon is at 2 degrees and moon is debilitated at 3, so it's heavily debilitated. And Saturn, you know, Saturn is Karaka, or significator of career. So it's a really massive planet to have debilitated. It's really, really tough, you know. So, but it hasn't made her lazy. She's hardworking. So it's amazing how, you know, you got to really sort of look at the D9 really to make sure natal chart wouldn't give you all of these. And I know they say that if the moon is at an angle with the lord of the house, the actual debilitation is cancelled. I don't think it's ever really cancelled. The feeling is not cancelled. Maybe it is strong because it's, you have first lord in the fifth with the fifth lord, Yoga Karaka planet, you know, 5th and 10th house ruler. However, still the feeling behind this is a really fragile mind and quite sensitive as well. She's also got Mercury in her first house, so she's quite a sensitive person. So don't let debilitated planets put you off, because they can make people really, really determined to make things happen. Ben Affleck also has got 2 retrograde planets, which are quite passive. So he has had to work hard to get them to work for him and pay dividends to him. And he has also got Chemdram yoga on his moon. He's got lonely moon, doesn't feel supported, and they're absolutely, you know, moon is a social planet and wants to be connected. So he feels quite disconnected. There are actually no aspects to his moon in his D1 chart. Now, her Venus is in Taurus, which is actually Ben Affleck's, because it's a Gemini sun, is his 12th house. So she actually makes him feel exalted, feel good about life. So that is a really beautiful thing there. And they both have issues with feeling up and down, and, you know, mind issues as well. Because obviously JLo is Cancer ascendant, and she's got Sun there and Mercury, and, you know, Mercury is not friendly towards the moon, and it makes the mind race all the time. So it kind of like it's just a lot of information, a lot going on. It's agitated that way. And also Sun is a malefic in your first house. Okay, both of them give you lots of intelligence, and if you look, her Mercury is actually combust. So she has had these things to deal with as well. And also the first house ruler is debilitated, is sitting with a malefic, massive malefic, Mars as well. So she has had her own issues going on as well. And also Rahu is aspecting her moon as well. So it's difficult. It has been difficult for her as well. And in D9 as well, her moon, although strong in Cancer, is still with a malefic, is still sitting there with Rahu, which is not very easy for her. And the same thing with Ben as well. He has got Rahu moon again in D9 in a difficult sign as well. So that's in Capricorn, which is even more difficult. And he has also got Venus as in the first house of the D9. Now, that is quite difficult because Venus is a karaka for the D9 because it's obviously committed relationships. And so when somebody has got the significator of that Varga or individual chart in the Lagna, it just means there's going to be dissatisfaction with relationships and marriage. So he has had to really work hard at that. So that's been difficult. But look, guys, people who actually read in all the scriptures and that says, you know, that could give no marriage. It does give marriage and it does give relationships. You just, if you really want to, you can make these things happen. You just have to go through some difficulties to just find out what you really want in life, so you don't go on breaking hearts, if you like. And how amazing that, I mean, I didn't realize they've been back together since January. But look at that. Venus Rahu of JLo started 29th of January 2021. And that's pretty much when the rumors started. So that goes that Vargas really work. And she's also Virgo ascendant in D9. And she's got Mercury there. Mercury in Virgo is really, really strong. It's not great for relationships, obviously, because in D9, having planets there. So she's the one who's really quite picky. So I think, you know, it goes to show that when you love somebody enough, you will give it a go and make it happen. And the other thing I wanted to just point out as well, she has got Venus and Saturn conjunction in Leo in her D9. That's quite difficult in generally speaking anyway. So it hasn't stopped her having marriages, doesn't stop her having fulfillment in, you know, obviously it hasn't been long lasting, but she hasn't been denied anything. So that's all the messages I wanted to give. I'm sorry about the background noise, but I hope that you go out and have fun with your charts and don't get pulled down by one or two placements that look difficult. Your life is what you make it. And don't ever be frightened that, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be with one person forever. Some people just have to do that. It's your karma. That's what you wanted to do. It's your soul's journey. So embrace it. Enjoy your life. I'll see you on the next video.